But as the days of Noah were, so also will the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered the ark, and did not know until the flood came and took them all away. So also will the coming of the Son of Man be. Matthew chapter 24, verses 37 through 39. As the days of Noah were. As the days of Noah were. Let me ask you, if we were in the days of Noah, who would you be? This week I had something else that I thought I was supposed to talk about. When I woke up in the morning, I kept hearing this in my spirit. As the days of Noah were. As the days of Noah were. This is always a thought that I keep on me at all times, because living in America especially, I can imagine that the ways of the people today were similar, if not worse, compared to the times before the flood. I live in a mindset of being ready and prepared for Yahshua the Messiah, Jesus Christ. I live in a mindset that we are in the last minutes before Yahweh's hour of trial that will come upon the whole world to test those who dwell on the earth. That's Revelation chapter 3, verse 10. But while I live with this understanding and expectation, it seems everyone else around me does not. It often seems everyone else around me is oblivious to all of this and just keeps going day by day, getting bogged down in their sins, attaching themselves to Mystery Babylon and our idolatrous ways. I see them all eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, excluding the Most High from their lives. And the unfortunate truth is, many will continue on with this until the day when the Son of Man comes and it becomes too late for them. But how will they know what the days of Noah were if they do not read their Bibles? Our enemy has put forth strong distractions in their path to keep them out of our Father's holy book. So many think that they know what the Bible says, while never ever picking it up for themselves. I have a close family member that loves to try to tell me what the Bible says, but he never reads it. He always says things like, "I'm not sure where it is, but doesn't the Bible say this?" And I'm like, no, I've never heard that. This is a consistent conversation between the two of us. They think they somewhat understand the Bible and what it says, and they believe that they will be ready for our Father when his day comes. But the truth is that the majority of these people, whether they are close family or friends, or just strangers in the street, are like the people who lived as in the days of Noah. They saw Noah preparing and building this ark, and they thought he was crazy or paranoid. Or maybe they thought, if a storm really does come, they'll know how to handle it. And it probably didn't come into their realization until that storm came and it started flooding. Then Noah went from being a crazy man in their eyes to a man who really spoke to Elohim and could help them. But they missed their chance. I do not want myself, my family and friends, you, or anyone else you know to miss their chance, though it is assured that many will. But it does not have to be this way for you who is watching this. So let's talk about the days of Noah. Let's begin. Genesis chapter 6. Now it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, that the sons of Elohim saw the daughters of men, and that they were beautiful. And they took wives from themselves, of all whom they chose. And Yahweh said, My spirit shall not strive with man forever, for he is indeed flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of Elohim came into the daughters of men, and they bore children to them. Those were the mighty men who were of old, men of renown. Then Yahweh saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every intent of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And Yahweh was sorry that he had made man on the earth, and he was grieved in his heart. And Yahweh said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, creeping thing and birds of the air, for I am sorry that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahweh. This is the genealogy of Noah. Noah was a just man, perfect in his generations. Noah walked with Elohim, and Noah begot 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before Elohim, and the earth was filled with violence. So Elohim looked upon the earth, and indeed it was corrupt, for all flesh had corrupted their way on the earth. And Elohim said to Noah, the end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them. And behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. Make rooms in the ark, and cover it inside and outside with pitch. And this is how you shall make it. The length of the ark shall be 300 cubits, its width 50 cubits, and its height 30 cubits. You shall make a window for the ark, and you shall finish it to a cubit from above, and set the door of the ark in its side. You shall make it with lower, second, and third decks. And behold, I myself am bringing floodwaters on the earth to destroy from under heaven all flesh in which is the breath of life. Everything that is on the earth shall die. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall go into the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of every living thing of all flesh you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark, to keep them alive with you. They shall be male and female. Of the birds after their kind, of animals after their kind, and of every creeping thing of the earth after its kind. 2 of every kind will come to you to keep them alive. And you shall take for yourself of all food that is eaten, and you shall gather it to yourself, and that shall be food for you, and for them. Thus Noah did, according to all that Elohim commanded him. So he did. Then Yahweh said to Noah, come into the ark, you and all your household, because I have seen that you are righteous before me in this generation. You shall take with you 7 each of every clean animal, a male and his female, 2 each of animals that are unclean, a male and his female, also 7 each of birds of the air, male and female, to keep the species alive on the face of all the earth. For after 7 more days I will cause it to rain on the earth, 40 days and 40 nights, and I will destroy from the face of the earth all living things that I have made. And Noah did according to all that Yahweh commanded him. Noah was 600 years old when the floodwaters were on the earth. So Noah, with his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives, went into the ark because of the waters of the flood, of clean animals, of animals that are unclean, of birds, and of everything that creeps on the earth. 2 by 2 they went into the ark to Noah, male and female, as Elohim had commanded Noah. And it came to pass after 7 days that the waters of the flood were on the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, the 17th day of the month, on that day all the fountains of the great deep were broken up, and the windows of heaven were opened. And the rain was on the earth 40 days and 40 nights. On the very same day, Noah and Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and Noah's wife, and the 3 wives of his sons with them, entered the ark, they and every beast after its kind, all cattle after their kind, every creeping thing that creeps on the earth after its kind, and every bird after its kind, every bird of every sort. And they went into the ark to Noah, 2 by 2, of all flesh in which is the breath of life. So those that entered, male and female, of all flesh, went in as Elohim had commanded him, and Yahweh shut him in. And all the sons of men that were left upon the earth became exhausted through evil on account of the rain, for the waters were coming more violently upon the earth, and the animals and beasts were still surrounding the ark. And the sons of men assembled together, about 700,000 men and women, and they came unto Noah to the ark. And they called to Noah, saying, open for us, that we may come to thee in the ark, and wherefore shall we die? And Noah with a loud voice answered them from the ark, saying, have you not all rebelled against Yahweh, and said that he does not exist? And therefore Yahweh brought upon you this evil, to destroy and cut you off from the face of the earth. Is not this thing that I spoke to you of 120 years back, and you would not hearken to the voice of Yahweh? And now do you desire to live upon the earth? And they said to Noah, we are ready to return to Yahweh. Only open for us that we may live and not die. And Noah answered to them, saying, behold now that you see the trouble of your souls, and you wish to return to Yahweh. Why did you not return during these 120 years, which Yahweh granted you as the determined period? But now you come and tell me this on account of the troubles of your souls. Now also Yahweh will not listen to you, neither will he give ear to you on this day. so that you will not now succeed in your wishes. And the sons of men approached in order to break into the ark, to come in on the account of the rain, for they could not bear the rain upon them. And Yahweh sent all the beasts and animals that stood around the ark, and the beasts overpowered them and drove them from the place. And every man went his way, and they again scattered themselves upon the face of the earth. Now the flood was on the earth 40 days. The waters increased and lifted up the ark, and arose high above the earth. The waters prevailed and greatly increased on the earth, and the ark moved about on the surface of the waters, and the waters prevailed exceedingly on the earth, and all the high hills under the whole heaven were covered. The waters prevailed 15 cubits upward, and the mountains were covered. And all flesh died that moved on the earth, birds and cattle and beasts, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth, and every man, all in whose nostrils was the breath of the spirit of life, all that was on the dry land died. So he destroyed all living things which were on the face of the ground, both man and cattle, creeping thing and bird of the air. They were destroyed from the earth. Only Noah and those who were with him in the ark remained alive, and the waters prevailed on the earth 150 days. These were the days of Noah. This is what Joshua told us these last days will be compared to. The wickedness of man was great in the earth, and every intent of their thoughts was of evil continuously. They were only thinking about wickedness and evil. They were so bad that he was sorry that he made them. All flesh was corrupt. The earth was filled with violence through them. Though we do not know all the details obviously, it's really hard to imagine that they could be any worse than we are today. Think about the world today. The world is filled with violence. We consume it daily on our televisions and in the movies. We are numb to it. The hearts of the people have gone cold, and the people rather kill and destroy rather than love. Vengeance is always on their heart. Leaving out violence, we are completely narcissistic, consumed with the love of ourselves before anything else, especially our Creator. Go on Instagram and you will see the same picture from millions of people, a collection of narcissism made to look normal. It's completely idolatrous. People don't have time for our Creator because they are consumed with themselves, their hair, their teeth, their clothes, their material possessions, and after they work all that out, a small minority will try to fit our Father in, while the rest don't even want to hear about Him at all. It's all about their goals and their plans. Listen, we are created beings. We did not just form ourselves on this earth by our own thoughts. We were made by our Creator, and it's Him that we are in service to and should be in submission of. But in these days, He is not even a thought in the minds of people today. They want to submit to a God in the way they desire Him to be. They are reshaping and rebranding their God, making a Burger King type of God, one that they have it their way, a world that they are placing all the gods together and telling us that they are all the same. There is no dependence on our Creator in this world. It's all about the person's abilities and the power of their mind. Yes, that New Age deception doctrine that has been spread amongst the masses, making them feel that they are in more control than they are, while they completely block out their true Creator. They are dependent upon government leaders and organizations. Through a false belief in democracy, they believe these are the ones who will fix their problems. And if these leaders and organizations do not fix it, they feel they'll take their own power and go to the streets and demand change. People never care about our Creator and what He says about the direction of this world, even those who call themselves followers of Him, but are in fact following religion instead of following Him. I mean, in His word, He has even prophesied to us about how evil we will be in these last days. In 2 Timothy chapter 3, He says, "But know this, that in the last days perilous times will come, for men will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, unloving, unforgiving, slanderers, without self-control, brutal, despisers of good, traitors, headstrong, haughty, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of Elohim, having a form of godliness but denying its power, and from such people turn away." That's 2 Timothy chapter 3, verses 1 through 5. You can't say that this is not today. He's warned us of this. He's prophesied this to us. As in the days of Noah. We are in a world filled with lust, when rappers are literally making pornographic material in their music and it is played on the mainstream radio. Disgusting. When stores and business owners will play this debauchery in their places of business because it's just normal. We live in a time where sex, money, and drugs sell, and positive role models are not even in existence. A time where war is consistently being provoked and people cheer it on. A time where our leaders talk in constant division and hate. They talk about bringing people together at the same time as they bring their opposition down. We are in a time when love and hate means something totally different than it did in the past. Where loving someone is now considered hate. Where evil is considered good and good considered evil. A culture where people have been conditioned to say, I'm bad, you know it. A world where people are sedated by unknown drugs, where they are in an unknowing state of hypnosis. A world where they are connected to mind-numbing devices that take away their power to think and be an individual. It's a world that has replaced our Creator with a God of self that will be replaced with a false Messiah. But that is the world today. A world that does not want to hear about the truth, the way, and the life. And just like in the days of Noah, they are being preached to. The book of Jasher tells us that Noah was preaching repentance for 120 years while he was building the ark. As he was building, he was telling the people to hearken to the voice of Yahweh, and they ignored him. They saw him building the ark in preparation for this flood, but they thought him to be crazy more than actually hearing from our Father. Exactly like today. We are obviously not in the majority, but believers around the world are preaching the same message of repentance, stressing the importance of submission to the Most High, telling the people that judgment is coming, but the people aren't listening. They are eating and drinking, getting married, partying, toasting it up to the good life. They don't want to hear it, and they think that the people that are giving these warnings are crazy. They feel that people that make videos like this are crazy, and people like you who watch them are just as crazy. We are preparing ourselves for our Father. Our hearts, our minds, our souls are our ark, and we are getting them prepared for the storm coming. And the rest of the world thinks we are crazy and paranoid. But we are not any of those things. The truth is that, just as in the days of Noah, the storm is coming. And the truth is that when many see it, they will remember the warnings and beg for our Father to help them, just as in the days of Noah. They will beg to come into the ark that they once thought was foolish and naive, that was a waste of time. This is an unfortunate reality that many must come to terms with. They will say the same thing just like they said in the days of Noah. We are ready to return to Yahweh, only open for us that we may live and not die. But for many, it will be too late. I mean, look at the world and what is going on. Do you honestly believe that we can recklessly speed non-stop down a path of wickedness and evil and think that there will be no ramifications for it? I mean, the truth is that all things that are keeping you from Yahshua, you are going to lose anyway. Your job, your home, your money, your peace, your security, your rights, your goals, your family, etc., etc. They will not last. They will not last. Even if you want to disregard and not put God into it, if you just pay attention, you will know that war is upon you. Financial collapse is upon you. Social unrest is upon you. Chaos and panic are upon you. And you are just too distracted or self-consumed to recognize it. But that's not stopping it from coming. Yahshua said it will be like the days of Noah. And in those days, you just saw that there was a lot of people that heard the truth but ignored it. They disregarded it. They only took it serious when it was too late for them. Our Father is pleading with us to heed His warnings and to prepare for Him, to continue to ready ourselves for Him. But are you listening to Him? The events that happened during the days of Noah foreshadow. They are a warning or an indication of the prophecy that we are foretold of in the book of Revelation and Daniel. And what we see during those times are much more worse than what was recorded in regards to Noah. But Yahshua said that those last days will be like the days of Noah. In these last minutes, you really need to come to terms with who you are. Are you Noah, one who was being faithful and obedient to our Creator? Or are you the other people who laughed and mocked at Him, who are disobedient to our Father? Or maybe you're just a mixture of both. You're straddling the fence and not fully on one side or the other. Let me talk to you first. If you say, yeah, that's me, I'm between both sides. I recognize the times that we're in, and I'm trying to submit to the Father, but I'm weak. You need to get strong and stop straddling the fence. He will not accept you being lukewarm. And understand, that's all that straddling the fence is. He does not want it, and it will not be accepted. You will not be accepted. Stop playing games and get serious with him. Make a serious decision and commit to him. Put away your love for this world. Remember these words. Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world is passing away, and the lust of it. But he who does the will of Elohim abides forever. That's 1 John chapter 2, verses 15 through 17. Now listen, if you're the other people, the ones who are laughing and mocking and being disobedient to our Father, I plead with you to turn from these evil ways. You are a created being. You must submit to your Creator. You have been blinded and distracted by many lies, and you must come into the truth before it's too late. This goes for you and those that are lukewarm. Nothing and no one is worth being separated from our Creator and judged harshly by Him. Whatever or whoever is in your way of this must be taken out of the picture. Remove yourself from idols. Your job is to know and submit to the Most High, and you can only come to Him through Yahshua. You must get this right and start building your ark in overdrive. Lastly, if in these last minutes you are being obedient and faithful to our Father, it could be compared mostly to Noah, do not stop. Keep going. Stay obedient and faithful and keep our Father and His will first. He is very consistent with His message. He loves you and wants you to continue to make yourself ready for Him. Continue to read His word. Stay in fellowship with Him. Obey His commands. Live through His ways and doctrines. Live holy, set-apart lives that are always ready for Him when He comes. The Father is placing urgency in my spirit, and I just want you to understand the time that you're in. Our Father has said to me, as in the days of Noah. As in the days of Noah. So the only question I have for you is, if we were in the days of Noah, who would you be? Please be Noah and be ready for our Father. Make that the priority today. Be blessed. Okay, thanks again for watching. If this has blessed you, please don't forget to like and share this with others. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to this channel. Elohim willing, I upload every Friday. Please don't forget to follow this ministry on Facebook and Instagram, as well as on my website, truthunedited.com. Thank you for watching. I'm thankful for all of you. Thank you especially to those Elohim has placed it on your hearts to give, and you have done so. Thank you in your assistance in carrying out this ministry every week. Thank you for your blessings and your prayers. They truly support this ministry. You really have no idea. Thank you for your obedience to Yah's call on your heart. Okay, thanks again everyone for watching. I love you all.